Welcome everyone to the first episode of the Madden Mastery series here on Madden 27. Now you're probably asking to yourself, what in the world is Madden Mastery? Well, thankfully, I'm here to explain. Basically, I'm going to be taking on one team from every single division inside the same franchise mode series. So I'll be using 8 teams all simultaneously, and basically the end goal is to have 2 of my teams meet in the Super Bowl, play each other in the Super Bowl, and I can just sim it, watch it, enjoy it as a real, true fan. Now, obviously, it's going to be interesting on how I get to that point, so there are some rules that will be happening in the series. First off, I will only be playing the fourth quarter of games. I will be just straight up simming until the fourth quarter. I play the fourth quarter. That's the only input I will have, except for Super Bowls. Maybe also playoffs. I haven't exactly decided on where I stand with playoffs, but for sure, the Super Bowl, I'll play the entire thing. It'll be a big old production. But that's just kind of how things will go. Each episode will be week by week. So I will be stopping every single week, giving you updates on everything that happened. I will only be showing gameplay from one game. One team will get the quote-unquote game of the week, where I will show the complete highlights from the fourth quarter that I played. Whereas if the rest of the teams, it will just be quick little updates so that the series can move along and happen quite quickly. So now, let's go ahead, let's meet the teams that I'm going to be using. First off is one of my 2 NFL teams that I root for. It is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They got a pretty interesting team at this point. We have some pretty good players you see here, mainly defensively, and obviously with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, I think the big advantage that he provides is just his knowledge and understanding of the game, and I definitely don't have that because I'm not that great at the game, so I think it'll be pretty interesting to kind of see how we do. The status is rebuilding. I don't necessarily think they're in a rebuild, but I also don't think Madden has a logic for a just it's this year or it's nothing. We got some 3 X factors, 4 hidden devs, 4 superstars, so got some good players to work with. And I am just going to be using Mike McCarthy as the coach, obviously an offensive genius, which I feel like kind of where the defense is at now and the offense is at. I think if we develop the offense, and I really think that'll help us go to Super Bowl. Maybe not this year, probably multiple years down the line. And speaking of that offense, obviously Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, Rico Dowdle and Jalen Warren at running backs, I feel like is an incredible pairing. And also an incredible pairing of wide receivers with Pittman and Metcalf, 2 much more like bigger receivers, and then Bernard in the slot, I think will be phenomenal for us. Obviously, the incredible tight end duo of Freiermuth and Darnell Washington, and a good, young, and constantly improving offensive line. I am really confident about this team. It's just the quarterback next year that I think is going to really cause some issues, so we'll see what I do with that. Defensively, we're just going to rock the 3-4, nothing too crazy. We got some studs here and there, but it's just going to be a matter of, is our pass rush going to be good enough to help support the defense? Because, like, don't get me wrong, I love Brisker, I love Deshaun Elliott. They're not exactly, like, coverage safeties, but that's why I got Jalen Ramsey. And honestly, with Highsmith, Watt, Sawyer, and Herbig off the edges, with Hayward and Harmon in the middle, I feel pretty good. Like, in Madden, I think this team is going to struggle defensively because Watt's going to get old, Ramsey's going to get old, and Hayward's going to get old. So I feel like we really have to capitalize on how good our defense is probably this year, if not maybe next year as well, but it'll be interesting. And then specialists, I mean, we got Boswell, the best kicker in the entire league. And like I said, we're going to be relying a lot defensively on Highsmith, Watt, and Hayward. And offensively, we're going to mix in Warren in the offense. Rico Dowdle will be kind of like our bell cow back. And then I'm going to put Bernard in the slot because I feel like he's really going to be good for us moving forward. And we're not starting with any injuries, at least as of now. Second team will be the Buffalo Bills, the other team that I support. Obviously, we have Josh Allen. So yes, the rest of the team does matter. But we have a current 99 overall quarterback. He'll probably be a 99 overall for the next 10 or so years. So that's just one thing that, as long as we have Josh Allen, we will be able to do whatever we need to do. And obviously, James Cook helps. Rousseau, Deion Dawkins, Spencer Brown. So we got some key players, but most importantly, we have a Josh Allen. And Joe Brady is an offensive-minded coach, so that'll definitely help us out with Josh Allen. Because, I mean, I'm going to be honest, I love Shakir as a slot receiver. He's not a true number 1, so I'm very glad the team went and got DJ Moore this year. I feel like that can be good. Hopefully, we can revive Keon Coleman's career. At tight end, we got Dalton Kincaid, a good receiving tight end. O-line on the interior is not the greatest, but the tackles are phenomenal, so I feel like we'll be perfectly fine. Defensively, we got a pretty good defensive line, especially with Parker probably taking over for Chubb midway-ish through the year. We'll see how Chubb regresses, whereas Parker will improve. Corners are young but improving. Safeties are young but improving, except for, CJ is old, but he's just a menace, so I'm okay with it. So I feel pretty good about this defense, even though it's not the greatest. Specialists, we got Tyler Bass. More likely than not, I'll just sign somebody else once his contract expires. And James Cook is definitely just going to carry our running back room, but I'm completely okay with Ray Davis kind of coming in there after that. And I really want to, in this franchise for this Bills team, I want to get Keon Coleman going back to what he should be. It's kind of the end goal, kind of the little project player that everyone kind of has a little bit of a soft spot for. He's gonna be my guy. Do have a couple of injuries to start off with. Christian Benford, but it's week to week. Corbett at left guard, it's week to week, so nothing too crazy for us to worry about. And next team is going to be the Las Vegas Raiders. I feel like franchise mode wise, this is probably the most intriguing team in the game this year. 6 hidden devs, with one of those obviously being Fernando Mendoza. 2 X Factors in Crosby and Bowers. You got Ashton Genty. You got a good offensive line. The receivers aren't the greatest, but they're very quick and kind of twitchy, I guess would be the right word to go for it. Clint Kubiak, offensive-minded coach. Like I said, Tucker, incredibly fast. Naylor's pretty quick. Beck is pretty quick. Dorsett is kind of a good veteran to put in there. But, I really, really like this team. I feel like Genty and then Washington also is maybe a third down back option. Absolutely love this Raiders team here in franchise. An incredible left side of the line, or eventually will be, obviously, once we get that dev trade unlocked. And also, I don't want it to happen, but it could happen. For some odd reason, if Fernando Mendoza goes down, we have Kirk Cousins as our backup, so be perfectly fine there. Defensively, Taron Johnson was a good free agent pickup. Eric Stokes is athletic and quick, so he's good franchise corner. Gerard McCoy, another hidden dev corner, hidden dev free safety. Jeremy Chin is strong safety. I like Eichenberg. He's a good old-fashioned linebacker. Dean, a middle linebacker. Quay Walker. I really, really love this Raiders team. Specialist, Adam Cole is phenomenal. Matt Gay, he's 75 overall, nothing crazy, but I really, really like this team. And of course, we're going to utilize Ashton Genty as much as humanly possible. Do have some minor injuries to some bench players, so I'm not all that concerned about it, but it is what it is. Final AFC team is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars. This team is good. This team is not, overall wise, probably what I would expect it to be. I feel like Trayvon Walker is a bit low. I think he should be maybe like an 83, 84 overall. Travis Hunter is obviously a unicorn. I'm definitely going to be using him offensively as well, even though in real life it kind of seems like that's done and over with. But 4 hidden devs, I feel like will be pretty good. And obviously, probably the strongest leg at kicker with Little. So, got Coleman, he's an offensive guru. And I did also encounter my first glitch where the faces of these players just do not show up at all, which is great. But 2 hidden dev tight ends, plus a star young tight end in Strange, so that'll be quite interesting to see what we do with that. A very deep receiving core, plus you add in Travis Hunter. That's 4 81 plus overall wide receivers. 2 running backs, he's not crazy, but I feel like I don't really need that good of a running back. We're going to revive Trevor Lawrence's career. Love the offense. Defensively, we got pass rushers, we got a star corner, we got a star middle linebacker. I could not ask for anything different to build this defense around. Superstar kicker, love to see that. And then specialists, we're not going to abuse Tootin like kind of some of our other running backs. I would love to have Amir Abdullah really do something for us. I've always used him in a lot of Maddens in the past because he's always been a really good third down back, just not a true number 1 overall. And I've used him probably dating back to Madden 19, Madden 18. I don't remember exactly when he got in the league, but would love to have a little bit of a twilight with Amir Abdullah. And all healthy. And then the Vikings. I had to pick a team from the NFC North. There really wasn't a standout yes, I want to use this team, kind of like there were in the other ones. I'm going to be honest, I really only picked them because they got Justin Jefferson. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Who's somehow only a 94 overall. I feel like that should be a lot higher, but we're going to turn him into the next coming of Randy Moss, even though he already is, but we're gonna get those numbers up. Plus at quarterback, Kyler Murray, JJ McCarthy, who do I start? It'll be interesting. And obviously, Packers are one of the better teams. Bears with Caleb Williams, that'll be hopefully a good rivalry. And then the Lions, who knows what's going on with them, what's going to happen with them in Madden especially. So I feel pretty good. Got a Kevin O'Connell as the offensive guru. That's going to be amazing. I am going to start Kyler Murray just like in real life. Got a good little running back duo. Got some good tackles. Hawkinson, I'm not necessarily sold on as our long-term tight end, but I think he'll kind of prove pretty vital for us moving forward. 3 good receivers. Like, I feel like with Kyler Murray, I'm going to do a lot more, like, obviously mobile plays because that's what he's good at. But I feel like if things don't go that well, I might just put JJ McCarthy in and hope that I can get his dev trade up to star, maybe even superstar sometime soon, and just see where that kind of goes. Defensively, there's not necessarily any names on this defense that like stand out. It's just kind of more of a solid defense. Like I don't think we're gonna lose any games because of our defense, but I also don't feel like we would win any games because of our defense. But honestly, with our offense, I'm kind of pretty okay with that. Rijkaard at kicker, I feel like that's pretty good as well. And specialists, I mean, we got Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones at running back, so that'll be good to mix them in there. We do have an injury to our fullback, but it is only week to week, so I'm not too concerned with that. And some backup players. I had to go with the Eagles for the NFC East. I cannot ever force myself to use the Cowboys because I absolutely hate them. And I feel like I'm kind of intrigued with what are the Eagles going to do now that they don't have AJ Brown? Is this somehow going to unlock the offense? And also, I want to win a Super Bowl. I want to be in the Super Bowl every single year, and I feel like if I don't make it with the Bills, my next best choice for the team so far is definitely going to be the Eagles. Plus, I also want to manage how do I do with this great team, because they have all these good players consistently, but that's because they draft so well, and I got to pay some big players. So I feel like it'll be interesting to see how I kind of do with the Eagles. And of course, I wanted to use Nick Sirianni. And I mean, this offense definitely speaks for itself. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley is phenomenal. Devonta Smith. Then we got Mekhi Lemon in there. Could kind of come off. He's a rookie. See how quickly can we develop him. And then at tackles, we got Mailata and Lane Johnson. We also got Bell coming up through there. He's young. Good young inside offensive line there. Dallas Goedert, a hidden dev tight end. Like, I feel like this offense realistically could put up 40 points a game if I was playing the full games. And defensively, we just got superstars and stars all over the place. We don't have the greatest of safeties, but we got Cooper DeJean, Quinton Mitchell, and Tariq Woolen. Those are 3 phenomenal corners. And then in the middle, we got Jalen Carter, and Jordan Davis. 2 incredible studs there. I really, really like this team. Jake Elliott's a good kicker as well. Obviously, we're going to use Saquon Barkley as much as we can because I don't feel like I would give him a second contract outside of this current one. I feel like he'll regress a little bit, but we're going to take advantage of probably the best running back in the NFL while we can. And like I said, Jordan Davis, he's week to week, so he didn't show up in the adjust lineup, which it is what it is, but he'll be a part of our team moving forward as well. And for the NFC West, I had to choose the Arizona Cardinals just because I wanted to pick like a true rebuild team. Because, I mean, Mike LaFleur, first-time head coach, but they got no quarterbacks, at least according to Madden. I think Carson Beck, he played pretty well in the Hall of Fame game. Could that be something? Maybe. Is that actually going to be anything? Probably not. But we got Jeremiah Love, who I think will develop well. I want to try to save Marvin Harrison Jr.'s career before it goes too bad. Trey McBride's a 99 overall already. We'll keep him around forever. Got a pretty good young offensive line. Defensively, got Budda Baker, but he's kind of old. Got Will Johnson at corner, but he's kind of our only good long-term corner. Got some other guys in there, so this is definitely like our one and only true rebuild of these teams so far. But I do feel pretty confident that we can kind of get something going. We got a couple of key young pieces in here that we can just kind of develop over time. And I feel like another rebuild is probably going to end up being the Saints. Like, unfortunately, Saints fans, they're not necessarily looking all that hot this year. I feel like if we can make Tyler Shuck like a true quarterback, I guess, but 0 X factors, 0 superstars, 4 hidden devs, and I think they're all going to be stars. So we got Kellen Moore, but it's not looking too good. I don't know if Chris Olave has get a concussion every 4 weeks programmed into him like he does in real life in Madden, but offensive line's okay, but nothing too crazy. Not necessarily anything great at tight end. We got Travis Etienne, but we do also have Alvin Kamara, who's probably just going to retire. Receivers, Tyson will be good, Olave will be good, but I don't know if I'd give Olave a second contract if he stays a star. If he goes up to superstar, it makes 100% sense to give it to him. There's just a lot of questions there. Defensively, nothing all that crazy here either. I mean, we got Jordan Reed who can do kickoffs, so that's cool. But outside of Kool-Aid McKinstry, who I just like because he has a fun name, nothing I'm all that sold on this defense. I would like to save Chase Young's career, kind of revive him there, maybe with Cam Jordan, get a little swan song out of Cam Jordan, but there's nothing all that crazy about this team, and I'm a little bit concerned that there's nothing all that crazy about this team. Kool-Aid McKinstry is week to week. As long as he's healthy for the regular season, who really cares? And that's kind of just how this series is going to go. Next episode, we'll get into some gameplay, kind of get a better cadence for how everything's going to go. But had to meet the teams, get my thoughts on all the teams, and really figure out next week what's going to happen. How is this really going to end up going? And I have no clue. But I think that's truly the beauty of this series. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Check out, maybe by the time you're seeing this, episode 2 is already out. Maybe you're watching this a year or, a couple months later and the entire series is almost out. So make sure you guys check that out. And I will hopefully see you all in my next video.